Well, congratulations on making it to the Gospel of John. You've read through Matthew, through Mark, through Luke. For what it's worth, John is my favorite gospel. It's okay to have a favorite gospel. I had a professor one time encourage us to pick a favorite and make it ours and study it for the rest of our lives. Become experts as much as possible within that gospel. So I hope through your readings that maybe you have found one you're fond of and will continue to read the rest of your life. So when we get to the Gospel of John, there's so many things that we could say about this opening chapter. And I hope you've seen that within books of the Bible, that opening chapter is often important because it's going to set the themes for the entire book. Now, there's a lot that we could pick from John. I want to focus on the first 5 verses. Let me read those to you. John writes, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him nothing came into being that's come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it." So many things we could focus on. I could talk about how this is an allusion to the very first book of the Bible, Genesis, which also begins in the beginning. I could talk even about Greek philosophy, and there's another famous work that begins just like this, in the beginning. We could talk about creation and how Christ is involved with that. We could talk about Christology and how Christ is in fact God. So many different things that we could focus on. But I want to draw your attention to verse 5, in which it says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not," according to this version, "comprehend it." In your reading, you may discover that your version said the darkness did not overpower it. Now, comprehend, in terms of understanding, versus overpower, well, those are two different words, two different meanings. Why would our translations do that? Well, here's why. The root of the word is the idea of grasp. It says the darkness did not grasp it, or the darkness did not seize upon it. And I think you'll discover often in John that he is, what I like to say, purposely ambiguous. He'll use a word that can have a double meaning. And so it's quite possible that this word that John uses, this idea of the darkness didn't seize upon it, he has in mind both those meanings. That the darkness did not understand the things of God. They did not grasp it with the mind. But he also has this idea that the darkness could not seize it, could not overpower the goodness, the light, could not overpower Christ. And so, as we consider this idea, one thing you can do as you read through the Gospel of John is see how this theme is woven throughout the book. How is it that the darkness fails to comprehend who it is that Jesus is? How is it that the darkness ultimately fails to overpower him as well? I hope you enjoy your reading through the Gospel of John. Keep reading.